Hello my dear friends, welcome back to another Star Wars video. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you're watching from, and today we have some very exciting Star Wars updates. Yesterday was the premiere of Andor Season 2. I shared my review and breakdown for the first 3 episodes, and if you missed it, go back and check that out. I'm not going to be talking about Andor today. I do have another video planned, but I want to give folks time to catch up. So today we're going to be talking about something different. Some of the other major developments from around the Star Wars galaxy, so no more jibber jabber, let's dive straight in. Star Wars Celebration was last weekend, but in terms of internet time that's like a million years ago. But we're going to be returning to one of those updates because we have a brand new development. The Shawn Levy movie starring Ryan Gosling, as we know, is going to be titled Star Wars Starfighter, and it releases on the 28th of May 2027. So far, apart from a title card, there's been very little info, but today we have our first plot details. This is just a rumour, so take it with a pinch of salt, but also be aware the source did get some of the casting right, so there could be something to this. So the very first thing to note, just like Rogue Squadron, the movie has nothing to do with the video game by the same title, they're not related. Star Wars Starfighter is set in 40 ABY, so 5 years after the rise of Skywalker. By contrast, my dear friends, the Rey movie by Shawn Levy is set 15 years after Rise. And the plot for the Shawn Levy movie is as follows. A 15-year-old boy is on a mission with his uncle, and the uncle is being played by Ryan Gosling, as they're being pursued by a duo of villains. So that's basically it. That's all we know so far. But this very brief synopsis brings up a ton of questions. Where is the uncle and nephew duo from? What is their mission? What planet are they from? What is the galactic situation after the Battle of Exegol? And most importantly, who are the villains? Are they Sith? Are they a master and apprentice? Are they bounty hunters? And why are they after them? Did the parents of the kid die? Is Ryan Gosling looking after them? Is Ryan Gosling's character maybe in debt? Or maybe they're after the kid because he's force sensitive. And along the same lines, here's my thinking. Because Lucasfilm has a lot of plans for the post-Episode 9 world, the Shawn Levy movie, the Charmin Obaid-Chinoy movie, the trilogy by Simon Kinberg, even though this movie is listed as a standalone, does it connect to Rey? If the 15-year-old has the Force, and they're being chased by some kind of Sith, or Dark Jedi or whatever they are, could Rey protect him, taking him in as a Padawan as part of her Jedi Academy? That's my prediction of how this is going to work. If there is indeed some kind of connection, there might not be. But you know guys, I was listening to some of the interviews given by Kathleen Kennedy following Celebration, and she does tease interconnectivity between the upcoming films. Earlier in the timeline in the Mandoverse, The Mandalorian and Grogu and Dave Filoni's film, but also later on with the sequel stuff. I personally want this to be separate. If you're going to bring Ryan Gosling into a Star Wars movie that's written as a standalone, that should be a triumph all unto itself. It's set in the sequel era, but that should be seen as an opportunity to explore what else is going on during this time, away from Rey. I want to see how the galaxy is faring with the First Order destroyed, the ripple effects on planets we've never seen before. How do the stories and legends that we know from the Skywalker saga like Luke, Vader, Palpatine, the Rebellion, the Empire, the Resistance, the First Order, impact some random kid and his uncle who are just trying to live their lives and go about their business? How does Ryan Gosling's uncle character deal with a child who exhibits Force abilities, but has no outlet or understanding of how to manage them? And where do these villains come from? Is there another Force group out there? Were there some kind of secret Sith around during Palpatine's revival as a clone? Who are they? Whatever the story is, they should keep it separate. But if they're going to connect it to Rey, it should be at the very, very end. And I think it was a year ago, Daisy herself confirmed Rey is back for multiple movies. I don't know if the Shawn Levy movie is one of them, but I personally would prefer if it wasn't. No shade to Daisy Ridley, she's got the Rey movie, the Rey trilogy if you will, but when you announce Ryan Gosling in a new standalone Star Wars movie, he should be the star. Because with this kind of announcement you have a ton of casual Star Wars fans who are looking for something different, because even amongst the general audience who remember 7, 8 and 9, it'd be amazing to have a new flavour of Star Wars movie. Similar to the way that the Star Wars TV shows are rather diverse, you know, the way that Andor exists in the same universe as Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, The Bad Batch, Star Wars movies need to take risk. And to me, the synopsis could be the opportunity for a blank slate. A very simple premise, which almost sounds a bit like The Mandalorian's first 2 seasons. Din and Grogu, against the Remnant, end up going on crazy missions, wild adventures, while their relationship grows, as father and son. It could be a very similar deal with this movie, but much further down the timeline, which to me is very, very exciting. Not everything after Episode 9 has to be Rey-centric. It could be an expansive period of time with a range of different main characters. In other Star Wars updates, my dear friends, there is a new live-action Star Wars Disney Plus show in the works. We assumed after Andor Season 2, on the TV show front, there was only animated shows, and next year Ahsoka Season 2. The assumption was that most of the main stories are going to be on the big screen. But today we learned there is another live-action show in the works. It's not the end. And this one is being developed by father and son duo Carlton and Nick Cuse. Carlton Cuse is of course the prolific showrunner of Lost, but his credits also include Bates Motel, The Strain, Jack Ryan, and the recent Netflix medical drama Pulse. Details of the project are being kept under wraps, so we don't know if this is the rumoured Bo-Katan show, we don't know if this is Mando era whatsoever, nothing is certain. And given Lucasfilm's recent track record, this could mean it never comes to fruition. They didn't announce it at Star Wars Celebration, so I wouldn't interpret this update as concrete confirmation. Anything can change, as it so often does. But given the talent between the Cuses, this could be something very special. Could this show be the next Andor? And so finally, my dear friends, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy have been giving several interviews, primarily to promote The Mandalorian and Grogu, but also to give general updates on the future of Star Wars. A couple of days ago, a few insiders came out and said, Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down this August. It made the rounds and fans got super excited, as they do whenever the same rumour comes out time and again, but I was sat there thinking, we were in the same position 2 months ago. This always ends up being a fake news story. And even though Kathleen Kennedy herself has said she will step down from her position very soon, she's not retiring. She's going to remain at Lucasfilm for many years to come, executive producing most of the upcoming slate. Her presence is going to continue being felt. Nothing is going to change overnight. And now in another interview responding to the newest claims, she debunks them. I'm obviously not a fan of what she's done to the Star Wars brand. I have spoken about the possibility of the Rey movie being cancelled or pushed back, but in terms of a widespread change and everything changing with the environment at Lucasfilm, that isn't going to change in August, even if she does step down. But to finish on a positive from Dave Filoni, he's now given us more reveals for Ahsoka Season 2. Not only does he promise it's going to be bigger and better than Season 1, he promises it's going to answer our questions about Baylan and Mortis, and will include, quote, very deep lore. So for those hoping we were going to get answers, Filoni says yes. Sometimes it feels all doom and gloom, guys, but we have a lot to look forward to. But share your thoughts on everything we spoke about in the comments down below. Are you excited for the Shawn Levy movie with Ryan Gosling? And what do you think about the plot synopsis? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, my dear friends, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.